Episode 4. This is just too damn much for me.
Lady in the street, diva in the seat. She's a truckin' lady. Truckin' lady.
What's up, y'all? Truckin Lady here with you. Thank you for joining me. Just want to apologize now in advance. I am parked at a truck stop right now, so if you hear a lot of background noise, I have silenced all I can on my end, so you might hear some occasional rumbling, truck horns, whatever. I apologize, but this is a trucking podcast, so get used to the sounds. Also, I hope you enjoy my decor. I didn't point it out on my last episode. Those of you that are following me on my YouTube, that's something I would love to show more of. And also, the other good thing is that if you're listening to this podcast, you can also go over to my YouTube if you want to see some footage of my truck or me driving. That's just something that I'm incorporating as a visual. I know that we have like audio or auditorial listeners out there, but there's also visual people, so I'm including both of those. And so I left off with my I just basically got a trainer, got into the truck for the first time. It was too much. I said, this is too dang much for me. It's overwhelming. I thought that then, but now when I'm about to get into now, oh yeah, it was way more than what I thought it was. First of all, I'm going to put this misconception out there that is commonly referred to when it comes to trucking. You're just driving. No, the hell, we aren't just driving. So it is definitely not just driving. There's a lot that goes into it. And my trainer was really good at making me really good at other than driving. He made me get an atlas. He made me trip plan my trip. And when I mean trip plan, I mean he made me get a pen, and write down what stops, what's the name of the truck stop, what's the name of the highway, what's the exit number. There was no GPS using while I was studying for my permit. So that was kind of interesting because it was like, what, in this day and age, when you can pull up GPS on your phone. It was no more, back in the day, either print out your instructions, or if you did have a GPS when they were really expensive, you had to put in the address. They didn't have it really like accessible on phones. So, but as over the years, we've gotten comfortable, accessible to GPS and all that stuff. And I feel like doing that, though, kind of helped me learn how to pay attention to signs more, helped me get more comfortable with reading an atlas. I already knew how to read a map because back in school, I don't even think they teach you how to read maps now in school. But back in, when I was growing up, I had to learn how to read a map. And of course, there are things in this atlas that I need to do a video of what an atlas, some people don't know what an atlas looks like, or a truck atlas is different than a car atlas. Let me say that much. It's much larger, and they have, special routes that we can or can't take. So, he made me make sure that I had my atlas, and I trip plan, knowing my fuel stops, making sure that I gave myself enough drive time to complete my shift. Hey, we have to get here in this amount of miles by this time. How fast or how slow can you go at the minimum? What's the fastest you can go as necessary? But our trucks are governed at 65 or as a lease op, so it's not like we can go any faster, which I'm perfectly fine with. You have some people like, oh, 65 is slow. Look, 65 is perfect for me. I'm driving an 80,000 pound missile. Okay, there's missiles that weigh this much, so I'm good driving 65. I try to do 62 when I can, but most times if I'm on a tight schedule, going up and down hills slows us down. And so I had to learn that, and I had to learn how to gauge my time, because most people, four-wheelers, car drivers, you say, oh, I'm only 45 minutes away. 45 minutes in a truck is not really 45 minutes. I mean, it's 45 minutes, the number, yes. But if I say I'm going to be there in 45 minutes, that means I'm really like 30 minutes away, like in a car, because the truck changes speed. You get pulled into way stations, that type of stuff. So before I get too far ahead of myself, so we first go out on the road, and of course it's like very different driving on the road in like a highway. I'm not talking about like a back road, like when I was doing the mock drive test, and he took us back on the back roads to do the mock drive test. Going on the highway with a loaded trailer, because the trailer we hooked up to was an empty trailer when we were doing the mock drive test, was a very big and different ball game. It was, how can I say? It was eye opening. Being able to get out on that highway and realize I can't see half these cars because we have huge blind sights. People are in our blind spots so much, and it's weird that cars are more scared of truckers, but it's like we're more scared of cars. We can't see y'all half the time. So it's hard sometimes, trying to see a car. And luckily we left in the daytime, so it wasn't that bad. But and then on top of that, trying to restrain myself from getting bored, because he didn't want me to have no distractions. My phone had to stay in the back, so I couldn't listen to music. He had his music on, or talk. It was like a talk show or sports talk or something. Couldn't, call nobody. I had to talk to him, which wasn't a bad thing. It's just like, I just didn't know him like that. So, and then on top of that, I was just nervous about driving this truck. So he basically taught me how to drive in long period of time. When you're driving a car, I mean, yeah, a lot of people still don't drive longer than maybe 8 to 10 hours at a time. Well, in a truck, it's a lot more. To me, I feel like it's more, you get more fatigue because you're constantly doing this. You're constantly looking around you. You're constantly adjusting your speed to whatever speed limit is, because sometimes truck speed might be different than the regular speed on the highway. You're constantly dealing with, wind, weather changes, just constantly turning your head. You're constantly doing everything like consistently. So you get fatigued a lot longer, or you get fatigued a lot quicker. You go on the road, and you have people driving crazy around you, so it gets very intimidating. You have to remember when you get off the exits to take the wide turn, slow down, slow down quite dramatically quickly. Just because we have more tires, we can't stop any faster just because we have more tires. We're actually harder to stop. The first time I pulled into a truck stop, it was so much going on, like so much going on. And if y'all follow me on my YouTube, I do have some videos of me pulling into truck stops. Now it's not so overwhelming, but as my first time in the truck, oh my God, I wanted to freaking just quit right there. Pulling into the truck stop, because you got truckers out here that's probably been driving for however long in this truck stops. You got other new drivers. It's just chaos. There's supposed to be organization, is not, but everybody's just trying to hurry up and get where they need to get to before they run out of time or whatever. That's fine. But for me, I was just like, oh, what do I do? My trainer's trying to sit there and tell me what I need to do. My trainer's sitting there trying to tell me where I need to go. My trainer's sitting there telling me like how to do things, and I'm just trying like to make sure I don't get hit or I don't hit nobody, and telling me where to go in the fuel aisle. Like, it's the fueling process is different than in a car. You got to actually put in all your information, your trip information, load information, trailer. What kind of fuel do you want? Do you want reefer fuel for the reefer so that can continue to operate? Do you want truck fuel? Do you want diesel exhaust fluid, which is something we call DEF, which goes into a whole separate tank? And you got, with the truck, you got fuel that goes on both sides. It's not even, it's so much. Then trainer was like, "Hey, do the windows need to be clean? Do you walk? You need to walk around. You need to start checking and looking for stuff. Start getting used to stuff." What, my trainer's gonna kill me when he hears this. Though I have a funny story for the first time. We were fueling, and he got out to show me how to fuel, and he set his phone on the step of the trail of the truck. I mean, and so he was showing me how to fuel. It was time to pull up, so he went ahead and pulled up for me, and it was in Dallas, Texas. I'll never forget. It's a TA in Dallas, Texas, off of I-20. And his phone, he forgot his phone. It fell down. By the time I realized he had ran over his phone. That was a funny story. Oh my gosh. But I have a story about that too later on down the road, that, my first week solo, I did something similar to that. So, anywho, I, so after, we've pulled up, got the fuel, we go to the, you take every opportunity to go to the restroom when you can, because it's not like in a car. You can just pull it to a gas station, a restaurant, fast food place, rest area. Trucks don't always have the same opportunities to do that. It might be far few in between, and sometimes, especially going out west, rest areas closed, or the gas stations are too small for a truck, so we have to wait for a truck stop or whatever. So we pulled out, we left out, we went to the local, we were in downtown Dallas to drop a trailer, and that was like the first night. My first night on the truck was also an eye-opening experience. Since I was a student, I had to sleep in the top bunk. But sleeping with a constant running refrigerated unit and an APU, because it was a little chilly out. So I think either way the APU was on. I'm not sure if the bunk heater is what heats the truck up. The bunk, as it's called, the bunk heater, it actually keeps the bunk warm when the truck is not running. The APU, which is auxiliary power unit, keeps the truck batteries charged while it's sitting, but it also provides power. It helps provide power to the truck. There's also an AC unit back in the back that the APU also powers. And so I believe that either way it was on. So that was on. Then I had my the reefer running. It was hard to sleep. And I was tired. I was exhausted. I think I'd driven like, he let me drive. So how he had basically made it to where I wouldn't get driver fatigue, he broke it up. I drove for 4 hours, then he drove for a few hours, then I drove for another 4 hours, and then by that point in time we were in Dallas and we were at the end of our shift. And he broke it up that way so that he could build me up to be able to drive 6 hours, and then 8 hours, and then if 10 hours, not consecutively, but to be able to, so I can drive. Because after 4 hours I was done. I was tired. Jesus. I was ready to go to sleep. I think I hit that bed. I went to sleep, went to the restroom. First night, another thing that people take for granted, having access to a toilet in the middle of the night. Imagine you're sleeping so good. Oh, crap. I gotta pee. So I gotta get down off this bunk, put on my jacket, put on my shoes. I already had my clothes on because I'm in the truck with a male. I'm not sleeping in pajama pants and stuff. I am sleeping in a sleeping bag with my clothes on. You're on with A Truckin Lady here, and that means you're listening to me through YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, wherever you get your podcast from. In my podcast, I've shared so far my experiences as a trucker coming into this industry, and I have so much more to share. But if I've inspired you to take that leap to become a truck driver yourself, I want you to join me here at Prime. Here, you will get your training, your experience, knowledge, and expertise from some of the greatest drivers out there on the road, not to mention the safest. If you don't believe me, you can look up primeinc.com. Contact a recruiter at 1-877-491-1108. Give them my driver referral code, ALLSIA. We hope to see you rolling next to us on the road.
Truckin' Lady.
So I get down, put my shoes on, put my jacket on, gotta walk. And I'm not talking about like right next door. I'm walking a good distance. Get to the restroom, use the restroom, wash my hands, come back out. It's in the middle of the night, mind you. Walk back to the truck, take off my shoes, take off my coat, get back up in the bunk, and go back to sleep. Yeah, it's very difficult to get a good night's sleep in a truck. We have the most, I will say this now as an experienced driver, we have the most unpredictable sleep pattern there is. So you really have to be able to be flexible and really just plan your schedule, plan your day, especially since you really don't know half the time day to day what you're going to be doing, how long you're going to be driving, where you're going to be. So anyway, so my first night, I didn't get very much sleep. I was nervous. I was up studying. Like he did make me study the pre-trip in our downtime, like before it was time to go to bed. Like he, made me go underneath the hood and point to stuff, and walking through the pre-trip every chance that we got. We on our 30-minute break. Okay, pre-trip. We stopped to get fuel. Okay, we're gonna go park and we're gonna do the pre-trip. Um, we're gonna do all these different things, and um the pre-trip actually wasn't hard the way he explained it to me, but it was. I mean, when I show you all the pictures, it would be on my social, my Instagram, my Twitter. Um, it's very overwhelming. You can even Google what it looks like underneath a truck, diesel truck. It's huge. It's so many moving parts, so many wires, so many cords, so many tubes, so many so many reservoirs, so many. I mean, just so much stuff you have to know. I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna remember all this. And the pre-trip's not just under the hood; it's the side of the truck, like the mirrors, the doors, the locks. Goes to the back of the truck. You look at the tires. You look at the coupling, meaning the coupling is what you use to connect to the trailer. You look at the trailer. The trailer is also a part of the the pre-trip inspection. So all these things you're looking at. And the easiest way to remember some things is that everything that you do in the pre-trip has some tires on it. So that was the easiest way for me to remember to do the tires, because everywhere that the trailer, the coupling area, the pre-trip inspection had tires. Now it came to the in-cab inspection. Oh my gosh, that was even worse, because you got to do like the air brake test, and you got to test the horns, the lights, and all that stuff. It's a lot. I mean, when I tell you it was a lot, I think the pre-trip, like the page like written out that they give you to study, it was like 3 pages long. It was like 2 or 3 pages long. And I think that the the most challenging part for me was the in-cab inspection. I felt um very intimidated by knowing that there's going to be an examiner sitting right next to me while I'm sitting here doing this and watching my every move. I can do the pre-trip was outside, of course, like the underneath the hood, and the coupling and the trailer is outside, so I felt like it was an open space. But I feel like, I know that he's still watching me, but it's just a mental thing. Once you get past your head, that's really what I had to do. I had to get out of my head and just realize I could do this. I've been through so much in my life. I could handle this. It was a lot. I'm gonna tell you, it was a lot. It was a lot. And the next day brought on a new challenge, which was backing. Backing was another monster in itself. There are no cameras, backup cameras. You can't see behind you. You can only see the side. There's no rear view mirror. Let's just say, to get the concept of backing down. I think my husband used to tell me, because we were dating at the time, you have to go left to go right. I think he got that from Cars, I think. But it makes sense. You have to go left to go right. Because you have to, in order to back your trailer up to the right, you have to turn your wheel to the left. Basically, it's opposites. I used to literally, when I first started out in training, I literally had to point. Okay, if I want my trailer to go this way, I got to turn my wheel that way. If I want my trailer to go this way, I got to turn my wheel that way. Vice versa, whatever. I might have just repeated the same thing I just said. But either way, the point is that I know I had to turn my wheel one way to get my trailer to go the opposite direction. So that in itself was a monster. Just trying to know when to turn the wheel to not overturn or underturn. Pulling up, because in the test, in real life, you have unlimited pull ups. Yeah, it might be frustrating someone waiting to back in next to you, or they're waiting to move for you to move out their way or whatever. But on the test, you only get like one pull up for straight line backing. I think you get two pull ups for all the other ones. So trying to keep that in mind, it was frustrating because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. And when I said in my last episode that normally I can deal with anybody talking to me any kind of way. Well, because my trainer was such a perfectionist and wanted things done the right time within like the first two or three times, he was getting frustrated. Like, why aren't you getting this? You had it the first time. Blah, 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 blah. Backing is not going to be the same no matter how long you've been out here. I could back into the same space every single day. It's still not going to be the same. I could have a different obstacle in my way. Could be something just that day I'm just off. Some days I can get into spaces that I would think I would struggle like that, but spaces that are super empty, wide open, I ain't got no obstacles. I don't have no trucks near me. I am struggling my ass off. So, yeah, we had that issue of him getting frustrated, and when he gets frustrated, he gets a little animated. He was never disrespectful. I will say that he was never disrespectful. He never like got, cussed at me. But if you're military, you know what I'm talking about. When you're doing something incorrectly, maybe your supervisor might say something to you, and you feel like, well, dang, like give me a break. He is passionate about the job. He feels that, if he saw me do it right the first time or one time, I should be able to do it right like that from now on. But it didn't work that way. So I have to tell you about the time he made me cry in the next episode of A Truckin' Lady podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. But before I go, we're going to get into my diva moment. Y'all be safe. Have a good one.
What's up, y'all? Truckin' Lady here with you for another Diva moment. So, I want to get into something real quick. Why is it a problem that I'm a female out here? Why is it a problem for that a lot of men feel that females don't belong out here in this industry? Why not? Why not? I mean, we can have babies, our bodies can go through a lot of pain and all that stuff. We can go through that, but we can't come out here and truck with y'all. We can't drive trucks. Like, I don't like that whole mentality that women can't do, shouldn't be out here. Women, it's not safe. Or it's not safe for women anywhere. It's not safe for anybody anywhere. Like, you could just be in a church minding your business and you get, something happen to you. You can be in your front lawn, something happened to you. You be walking home from work, something happened to you. So I don't understand what me driving a truck has to do with my sex. Like, there's men out here that have issues and not safe stuff happens to them. So, I don't do anything like to attract attention to myself. I'm not flashy. I'm not, I don't wear revealing clothes. I don't get all dolled up. Now, I'm not saying, that the women that do that are attracting that attention. I just don't want to put myself, give anybody a reason to feel that they can, that they can give me extra attention. I truly believe that. I feel that people should be able to dress and wear what they want and not have to be subjected to harassment and stuff. But also at the same time, I'm gonna do what I can to make myself feel comfortable. And actually being out here on the road driving, I just want to be comfortable. If I'm gonna go out and get all nice, yes, I'm gonna go out. I'm about to have a good night on the town. But if I'm working, I just want to be comfortable. And driving, I just feel more comfortable, especially long periods. You talking about 10, 11 hours, sometimes a day, 600 some miles a day, every day. I just want to wear some sweatpants, a t-shirt, and pull my hair back in a ponytail. Some days I might feel like, oh, let me put on a little lipstick, a little lip gloss, whatever. But as long as I'm clean, I smell good, and I look representable, as long as I'm clean, my breath smells good. my clothes look good and I'm representable, I'm comfortable. I'm completely comfortable. I'm not pressed for trying to be a certain way. I'm really not. Um, but at the same time, does that do I feel like I need to be put in a category of this isn't the career field for you, or I get the question of, oh, so your husband or your boyfriend, whoever you with, don't mind you being out here? Clearly not if I'm doing it. And my thing is, I'm not saying that I'm going to do what I want to do, but also part of having a supportive significant other or spouse is communication. So yeah, I'm going to communicate. If he doesn't like me doing something, or doesn't understand something, I'm going to communicate that. But by no means is that going to make or break what I decide to do. In a sense, it's like this is my career. Yeah, there are issues with sometimes being going away from home, but that's my problem. Why is it yours? Why is it your problem? Why is it your focus that I have a significant other at home that may or may not have a problem with me being out here on the road? How does that affect you? Why do you feel the need to ask that question? Like, you think that's going to change my mind and be like, you're right, it is causing problems. Let me go home. Like, why? Like, I don't understand why people feel the need to sit there and tell me negative stuff. Like, why can't people come up to me with positive stuff? Why can't people come up to me with positive stuff or actually want to talk to me about my, you know, experience so far? That type of stuff. Why am I always having to answer to negative stuff? Oh, why you drive for them, or why you out here? This ain't for females and da da da. Like, I haven't personally experienced a lot of racist drivers, yeah, except for on the CB. That's when the CB radio. That's when I get the most racist comments, because for some reason people so big and bold behind a microphone or behind a keyboard, but in that person's face they won't say it. So my thing is, if you're gonna be racist, be racist. Be racist. Just be open and front about it. Don't sit there and hide behind a microphone or a keypad, and typing away, or talking away, but you won't say nothing to that person's face. But you don't like me because of the color of my skin. Something I can't change. You don't like me because of my gender. I was born this way. I can't change that. I mean, people do go through and change their gender. Great. I'm happy for you. Support you. Do what makes you happy. But also at the same time, if I'm physically born a certain way, don't like get mad at me because I was born that way. You know, oh, you're a female. And so what? You're a male. And I have issues with men, and I don't have issues with all men. There's just certain men in my life that I have issues with. But I don't have to take that on everybody. Um, the color of my skin. I can't change that. So the fact that you out here talking shit, calling me the N word and all this stuff, being disrespectful, for what? You call me, that's not going to change my skin or make me disappear or make other people of color disappear. Regardless, I'm not talking about just black people. I'm talking about, anybody that has any kind of pigment color to their skin. If they have any type of melanin, they could be of other nationalities. But telling me how much you hate this person because of the color of their skin, or calling them a name because of the color of their skin, that's not going to change the color of their skin. What is hating somebody because of the base of the color of their skin? It's not like we were in the damn vending machine and said, oh, before it's matter of fact, we use a better one. Ain't like this is when we were born, created, or made in a damn build a human workshop like Build a Bear. We ain't that way. We didn't go through, oh, what color bear do you want? What color, like, I didn't go through something where I can be born a different skin color. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that just really irritates me. It's like people want to feel like that they can insert their opinion about you based off the color of your skin, or just the fact of your gender, that you're female and that you can't do this job. Like, what do either one of those have to do with the ability that I'm a safe driver? What does any of that have to do with the fact that I am good at what I do? I enjoy what I do. You know what I mean? What does that have to do with any of those things? Nothing. Because if I said all those things before I even said my gender or the color of my skin, people automatically assume I'm a man. But if I just sat there and said we have a driver, there is no sexual or gender notification on that. There, you can't tell by me just saying the word driver if I'm talking about a female or a male. If someone comes up to you and says, "Well, we have a driver that is on time with her on time." Okay, let me take that back. We have a driver that's on time with their loads, that is safe with their loads, does not have any accidents, does not have any being late to their appointments. Is really good at what they do, at managing their clock, at managing their time, truly enjoys the job. That description does not tell you if I'm male or female. But yet I get put in the category that I don't belong out here in this job because of I'm a female, or because I'm black, a black female. So I have two things against me already. This job is already hard enough. People think, oh, you're just driving a truck. You're just driving. You're just driving. And the reason why I say people say that is because I'm guilty of it. Before I got in this industry, I thought literally I'm just driving. No, there's work. There's work. And I'm going to post videos and show the work that goes in this truck driving industry. It's not just as simple as buckling up my seatbelt and putting the truck in drive and go down a road. There's so many obstacles and issues that I deal with on the basis that other truck drivers deal with on the basis. I deal with wind. I deal with, like, people don't think about wind. Wind pushes me around like I'm a damn rag doll. But I might be heavy as hell. Like I'm 77,000 pounds right now, full of cheese in my trailer, and that is heavy. That is heavy. But I'm being pushed around. That's weather that I have to deal with. That deal with traffic. Have to deal with. I mean, that's just some of the stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to open to y'all up to what I deal with out here on the road, so y'all understand this is not just a driving job, but I and truly enjoy it, and I'm really good at it. Um, and I just want people to understand that just because I'm a female or I'm black, that doesn't define me as a person. That doesn't make me a worse driver than this driver because of those two things that are against me. Okay, I'm a female. And so what? My truck is probably cleaner than a lot of trucks out here. I take more pride in the way my truck looks on the inside. Most guys might only care about the outside, but I take pride in my truck. I take pride in my job, period. Even if I drove for another company, even if I was an independent contractor, I'm gonna take pride in what I'm doing, because this is my home on the road. This is my home away from home, literally, because my bed is here. This is where I sleep. This is where I spend majority of my time every day. When people say they go to work and you spend most of your time at work, I live in my work. I wake up, I'm at work. I go to sleep, I'm at work. So yeah, I'm passionate about my job. I'm passionate about my career. It's not just, oh, she's just a truck driver. No, 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 no. There goes more into that. It goes way more into that. Yeah, truck drivers have bad images, from over time. But nowadays, the way the world has worked in especially these last 2 years, y'all realize how important truck drivers are. So, with that being said, it's a trucking lady. What's your 20?